Operations and head of the William G. White YMCA. We know the William G. White YMCA. Yeah, we do. But he also loves to fish and to run and to do all things outdoors. He especially, most importantly, loves camp and campaigns, yeah. And fun fact, he is also getting married in September. So we're going to give him a big round of applause for Joe Peel.
I think she said a big round of applause. Let's hear a big round of applause for Joe. So, a couple things. First, it is so great to be at camp. Even though we got this liquid sunshine, I love somebody whoever said that, thank you. We indeed, it is liquid sunshine. We needed it. It's great in the weather. It's awesome. I don't know about you, but it was nice to wake up and into this. I do love camp. Just real briefly, my very first job was a camp counselor at a YMCA, and that was a long time ago. And I never left the YMCA since then. So be careful, you counselors out there. And all you campers out there who want to be a counselor, like your professional role model, because you may work for the YMCA one day, and I hope that's true. So I'm here to talk really briefly about one of my favorite Celtics. And I'm so happy that your theme for the summer and the verse that was read this morning corresponds with that, because I am absolutely fascinated by the topic of gifts and talents that every single person in this room has. On the day you were born, before the day you were born, you were given sometimes multiple gifts to use not only for yourself, but to share with others. So I'm going to open up with a question. And this is I need your participation on this, okay? Because this is a big, deep, awesome question. Here's the question I have for you. What makes God smile? Okay? I'm going to give you 7 seconds to think about it. What makes God smile? Okay? Would anyone like to share what they think it is that makes God smile? Yes, ma'am. What is your name?
Using your gift.
Using your gift. Okay, Kendall, good job. Using your gift. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. And we'll get, what's your name?
And smiling.
Yeah. What do you think makes God smile? What do you do that makes him smile?
Helping others.
Helping other people. What do you think about that? Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's move back here a little bit. So, what in your opinion, and there are no wrong answers, what in your opinion makes God smile? Let's do one of your great counselors. Yes. What's your name?
Nadia.
Nadia. What do you think makes God smile?
Teaching his word to others.
Teaching his word to others. What do you think about that? Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, Nadia. All right, let me get up here. We're going to test the mic. We got somebody here in the blue Under Armour hat. What's your name? Brady. What do you think makes God smile?
Us doing the right thing.
Oh, let's give Brady a big round of applause. Yeah. So, I think you get the picture. God gives us gifts, not only for us to use on a daily basis. We don't sit on them. We don't put them in our trunk and put them away. We use them. But I feel God really has a big smile when we use those gifts and share them with others. Would you agree with that? Okay, so that's what I want to talk real briefly about. So, in 1 Peter it talks about that. So God doesn't give us gifts just for our own benefit. He wants us to share them and how to do it. So let me talk about at camp. At camp, what are some things that we can do or have done at camp to share our gifts with others? So how many of you people out here, well first, let me ask this question. How many of you had to have a birthday? Oh, if your hand didn't know. Everybody out here's got a birthday, right? Do you all love, let's just be honest, do you really like to get a birthday gift? Isn't that pretty awesome? You like to get multiple gifts? Well, that's a lot like what God has done for let's talk about camp. How many of you are really good swimmers? Okay, so here's what you can do maybe today, maybe the next time you go swimming. If you're a really good swimmer and you have been given that gift, and there's somebody, a friend of yours, or someone in your cabin who's next to you that doesn't feel quite as comfortable as you do in the water, or maybe not quite as good a swimmer, do you think it's up to you to help that person out with swimming? Yeah? How many of you have been on the climbing tower or climbing wall? Okay? Now that's a gift, right? So don't you think it would make God smile if you were to help someone that maybe you have a friend that's a little bit nervous, maybe not as good of a climber as you are? Don't you think it's up to you to reach out to your friend and help that person on the wall or on the tower? Would you agree with that? So that's a great way you can do it here at camp. Second, and I love this analogy, so God wants us to build His kingdom with our talent. So I want you to think about this. Your body is made up of multiple parts. You have a head, you have hands, you have feet, and that's all planned. That is exactly how God intended you to be, because every single part of your body is valuable, right? So think about this. What if you had 6 hands, and you had your hands where your feet were, and you had a hand where your head was? Would that be a little weird? You think that would work out so well? What if you had feet all over your body? Feet where your head was. Feet where your hands were. Feet where your legs were. Feet where your feet were. Don't you think that'd be a little bit odd? Yeah? So, the body is a great symbol of what God wants us to do with His gifts, because you all are made perfectly just how you are. You're all very different. Every single person in here looks differently, acts differently, is different. And that is totally intentional, because God gave you gifts and talents and strengths to use all together, just like the human body. Just like the foot has a purpose, the head has a purpose, the hand has a purpose, the fingers has a purpose, your tongue has a purpose. And that's all done intentionally. And what God wants you to do with the gifts that you have is to share them. Because think about a world where everybody with different gifts and talents, sometimes multiple gifts and talents, what if we all shared them with other people? Do you think this would be a better world? Would you prefer to live in a world like that, where everybody gives of themselves? Yeah? I think I would. So I want to close with this. First of all, I like to use as a filter, which means something, how many know what a filter is? You know, you put something in the top of it, and it trickles through to the bottom. And sometimes things that get to the bottom aren't quite like they were when they came up through the top, right? It kind of goes through. So think about this. Think about using the question, what makes God smile, as your filter for how you behave and how you treat other people. Now, I think that'd be awesome. That's a world that I want to live in. Is if everybody made every decision every second of the day, and they stopped and said, oh, is that going to make God smile? Is how I treat this person next to me, is the things that I do and I say, is that going to make God smile? My behavior in my cabin at night, is that going to make God smile? When I take camp home with me and take all the valuable lessons that you've learned here at camp, with your friends and your neighbors and your family, and you are around them, and you want to say something, and you stop and ask the question, is this going to make God smile? So I challenge you all, while you're here and as you go home, to ask yourself that question. Is my behavior, is my action, Have I taken all the gifts and talents that God has given me from day one? Am I using those for other people, not just myself? Is that going to make God smile? I think it is. Last thing. And for you counselors, this is especially true for you, but this is true for everybody. What I love about this topic and what I love about being given gifts in life that we all have is that you continue to discover the gifts that you've been given as you get older. And I know that sounds crazy, but I can tell you from personal experience that there are gifts that you have right now that you may not know about, that you may not discover until you get older. And that's the beautiful thing about this topic, is that not only do you have them now, but as you grow, I guarantee you things will pop up that you never knew you had in you. And I will tell you this, when I was your age, to get up in front of a group of people would have terrified me. My voice would be shaking, my knees would be knocking, I would be sweating, I would be in a panic mode, knowing that I had to get up and stand in front of people. And I was like that for many years. But after I was a camp counselor, and as I went through college and my first job, I learned things about me that I never knew I had, because somebody believed in me. So, always look for gifts that you have now and as you go forward. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to close with a quick word of prayer. We're going to move on. Our Heavenly Father, first, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this liquid sunshine that you have given to us. We certainly need it in many ways. And Father, most of all today, thank you so much for the gifts that you have given us all. We all are very special in our own way. We all have been given things that not only do we need to use for ourselves, but we need to share with everybody else. So thank you for that. And we know that by doing this, we make you smile. In Christ's name, amen.
Good for Joe, guys.